how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. So I thought I would take you further down the rabbit hole with my Greek mythology studies, and now I'm in the second month, probably more than that, because I really started doing stuff in 2023, at the end of 2023 in December, getting into more Greek mythology. But I thought I would bring you along with the books and the decks that I'm working with that are my Greek mythology decks this particular month. And yeah, I have, oh my goodness, I have my coffee, and then I have this. So I use extra cards as bookmarks. Oh my gosh, I almost dropped that in my coffee. Okay, let's make it safer. Anyway, I have a tendency to do that. And this is a deck, this is a card from the Smith-Waite Centennial, and just another of Pixie's art. And this one it's really different than any of her other artwork that I've seen. And I just thought it was so beautiful. I don't have landscapes like this at all where I live. And because it's, February, and I keep seeing landscapes like this, like all over, Instagram and everything, because it's that time of year for the northern hemisphere, so wintry and like desolate like this. And I don't know, it's just, it's empty and lonely, but also extremely beautiful. Anyway, it just felt like right. So I plopped it out here into my filming and reading space, which I am at now. So all of that to say, I want to tell you about what I've been doing. So let me see, what order do I want to do this in? Because I have some books to show you. But first, let me just kind of give you the overall like vibe for the month. And it's this. So we have Circe Tarot, and we have the Circe novel. I wonder if the whole thing fits. So this is the vibe. Before I get into talking about this deck, I'll show you the other books that I'm reading. So I'm into, let's see how far. I've stalled out a little bit because I'm reading some other things too. But last month I read Madeline Miller's Song of Achilles. And so this month I thought, since I was getting the Circe Tarot, that I would get the book Circe as well. I've only just begun, so I really actually was, I've heard mixed reviews about this book. There are folks that really, really love it. I have some spoilers for it. Well, obviously, because I know the Odyssey and I know some of the mythology, but there, Madeline Miller also, I think, takes some license with the mythology. But in any case, the podcast that I've told you guys about a jillion times, Let's Talk About Myths, Baby, Liv Albert, there was one episode where, and I can't remember where she was, but she was a guest on another podcast, or she had a guest on her podcast, and they talked about Circe, and there were plenty of spoilers for the book, but she didn't love it. There were things about it that she didn't love, so I already have that kind of notion going in, but it hasn't spoiled anything for me so far. In fact, I've been really savoring the parts at the beginning of this book where Circe is with her Titan parents, her mother's a nymph and her father is Helios, which I think that's right across most of versions of the myths, is that she is the daughter of the Titan Helios, the sun. So just all of the descriptions at the beginning. I mean, I know this is not booktube, and I'm not sure if you really want a review or not, but whatever, I'm just going with it. The descriptions of her in the cave, or where the Titans and gods and nymphs live, is stunning to me. Like, I just absolutely love that part. I love the description of things. I've loved it so far, and I really felt like her innocence at the start, and now it's taken a turn because now she's been banished, which I'm not sure is actually in any of the, in source mythology. But in any case, it really doesn't matter. Like, I'm just enjoying the story. I am really loving getting to know Circe, or Kirke, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But I'm really enjoying just the beautiful language, and I'm taking my time with it. I did that with the Song of Achilles. I think I spent a couple of months reading the Song of Achilles. It wasn't just in January. So I got the book Circe, and then I also got this because I had to, because, if you're going to talk about Circe, then it has to be the Odyssey. Now, I just listened to, I hope my book fits on the screen. Like I said, I keep talking about the Myths Baby podcast and Liv Albert, because she's really being such a guide for me right now with books. But in any case, the Odyssey is the Odyssey. I read the Odyssey. ? I read a lot. I read and studied the Odyssey in college. Now, I don't think that I was as good of a student then as I kind of am now, which is really funny. But I don't think I read it cover to cover. I think I read like parts and pieces of it, showed up for discussion in class and things like that, and listened to like everybody's take on different parts of the Odyssey. Now, I just listened to, on the Myths Baby podcast, Liv Albert's retelling of the Odyssey, which is a very truncated version. This is Homer, so it's really lengthy. And I know that this is definitely not the translation that I read when I was younger in college. This is a translation by Emily Wilson that Liv Albert recommended. And I have to say that for those of you that might be at all intimidated about reading something like the Odyssey or the Iliad, and I'm pretty sure Emily Wilson has a translation of the Iliad too, but her translation is one of the most palatable, easy to read. If I were still teaching in the classroom, which I don't anymore, but if I were still teaching even middle school and high school English, because that's what I did teach when I was in the classroom, if I was, I would feel comfortable using this translation of the Odyssey, even at that level, or at least portions of it, because I feel like it's just easier to understand. It's translated in a language for, I think, current. So it's really, really good. I've gotten relatively far into it. I haven't read a lot of the front matter material, but I'm going along. I wanted to kind of wait to get into the Odyssey until Odysseus shows up in the Circe novel, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So in any case, I'm doing the whole Circe Odyssey thing, and I have thoughts about this tarot deck as well. But let me show you the other books, and then we'll talk tarot. I also, at the library, grabbed Ovid. This is cut off because I'm trying not to dox myself here. I grabbed Ovid, the Love Poems, and I thought this would be super fun for Valentine's Day. But it's it's dense, and it's just a lot of kind of material, front matter material to get through, to even get into the love poems themselves. But I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna dig in as best I can. Maybe I'll just try to do some more bibliomancy type stuff with this, or maybe read on Valentine's Day. But yeah, I thought this would be cool. I haven't really gotten into it yet. And another book that I grabbed at the library. Yeah, all of these are library books because I do not have the space. I used to have a ridiculous personal library of books, but over the years, I just, gave away stuff. I moved, then I was settled, then I had a kid, and then I moved again a bunch of times. So I often used to give away books to students. That was just a thing I did a lot. In any case, So, this is the Oedipus cycle. This translation I haven't heard of, Dudley Fitz and Robert Fitzgerald. I just grabbed the one that they had at my local library. I have definitely read Oedipus and Antigone before. I know I read this in college and I know I spent time in it. Definitely, I think it was more compelling to me at the time, especially Antigone, when I was in college. And I think I wasn't even in like a classics class. I think I read Antigone in a like a philosophy class about logic, which is really funny. So yeah, I mean, the plays are just really good to get into because you can go back and forth. Like I don't feel as committed to them as I do the novels. So, so Sophocles, I mean, come on. If you're gonna do it, you gotta get some Sophocles. All right, and here's another book that I just randomly picked up because I was in the, the mythology section of the library. So I found this, and this is called the Handy. Obviously, you can see it if you're looking at the screen. It's called the Handy Mythology Answer Book, and let me just even show you the contents, because here's the thing that I really like about this is that when you get into tarot and oracle, it suddenly opens up this like whole world of mythology and cultures and pantheons and deities and ancient teachings and historical things and different regions around the world, different cultures, different traditions, different history, all that kind of stuff. But especially when we're talking about mythology, when I get especially with oracle decks, I'll get like an oracle deck, or I'll be drawn to an oracle deck, and I'll look at it and it'll have Celtic goddesses or this, that, and the other thing, which I kind of know of or have heard the name, but I haven't studied it, or it's not my culture or whatever it may be. And then I'm always kind of wary or suspicious or uncertain about whether or not it's a valid correspondence between this goddess or this particular symbol or whatever, you know what I mean? Or I want to know more about it. So one or the other. And I'm always well, is that symbol? Does that mean that? Is that the goddess of this? Is that a thing? And my academic, kind of scholarly self wants to dive in and do deep studies of everything, but I can't deep dive study everything. So it's good to have a really kind of handy little reference guide. And now I'm not sure, this is by David A. Leeming, PhD. I'm not sure of his pedigree or whatever. But, and I've never heard of this book before, I just grabbed it. But so far, it's I've been dipping in and out of it. And so it's the Hindu pantheon, Indian mythology, East Asian, Native American mythologies. That's what I'm not so sure. Then it has this big appendix in the back, and it has just this, it's bite sized, I guess it's you could Wikipedia things, but I'm not sure, and Google things, right, to read just small bite-sized bits or watch small bite-sized videos. But I kind of just like having an actual physical book to look through. And because I've been, spending time in Greek mythology, also has Roman stuff in here, which is the natural progression, right? But I thought it was pretty cool, and I've enjoyed it, and it's helped me with some of the things that I already have and own. So that's the Handy Mythology Answer Book. And those are that's it. Those are all the books. Let's talk about the tarot. Okay, so the Circe Tarot, which I'm sure I'm going to talk about again in my monthly wrap up. And this isn't a proper walkthrough or deep dive or anything. I'm just going to flip through and give you some of my thoughts about it right now. I've been using the Circe Tarot like I did the Odyssean Tarot in January for daily draws. And I love the artwork too, by the way. And I've been working with this little white book, which this is different for Lo Scarabeo. Lo Scarabeo usually has translations into other languages. This is all in English. Oh, look, this is me figuring out what color I was going to edge the deck. And I'm pretty sure I picked 837. Yeah. So I edged my deck in a color to match the backs. It's a completely different new cardstock. And it's real like slippy. I'm enjoying this deck a lot, like from shuffling it to working with it every single day. The guidebook is hit or miss for me on occasion, and I'm working my way through how I feel about, sorry, I'm drinking coffee. I'm working my way through how I feel about the associations as they come up. So, this is a new deck to me. Greek mythology is something that I'm, brushing up on, relearning, working with, but I feel kind of confident with a lot of it right now. And for a deck that is called the Circe Tarot, there's not a lot of Circe in the Circe Tarot. This really feels more like, it feels very connected to the Odyssey. And there are some cards that have a specific character figure from Greek mythology and a write-up about them in the guidebook. And then there's some that are just like general. So like the star card is not a specific nymph, but just a nymph. And then some are, God, I love this artwork though, for real. Oh my God, this card makes me want to cry every single time. So the Ten of Swords is Patroclus when he's killed at the end of the Iliad. If you've read the Song of Achilles, you will understand my heartbreak here. Oh my gosh. This is one of the reasons why I love this, I love this deck. But so there's also places, oh, and that's Briseis. And there's different ways that I've read about Briseis. She's very different in the Song of Achilles than she is in the Iliad, than she is in different places, different versions of the stories. And I like to think that they all are true. It's like, a multiverse, right? And so, yeah, and here's Zeus for justice. So there's some of these, and here's the Minotaur. There's places where I really enjoy the way that it's interpreted. I see like Cassandra is the high priestess. I like that choice. Six of Swords. Sorry, I can't help myself because I've just been working with these cards pretty deeply. Some of them, not all of them, obviously, because we're, just into February and I'm doing daily draws. Oh, Chiron. So there are some places though where they use the Roman name for the deity rather than the Greek name, and so I'm not sure. And some places in the little white book it feels like, I don't know, not edited well or typos or something. But I gotta say, overall, I'm really, really loving this. There's Heracles. That's, 10 of Wands. Heracles is a beautiful idea. Oh, the Tower. I got the Tower. I have a whole thing that I want to talk about with this specific Tower because this is Icarus. This is Icarus. And it just kind of just flipped on its head for me some ideas about the Tower. And I had an idea, to make a whole video about that. Maybe I will. Oh my gosh, the moon is Selene. It has to be, that has to be Selene, right? So I'm really, I won't flip through the whole thing, but if you are at all drawn to Greek mythology, I really highly recommend There she is. That's Circe and Odysseus, I think. No, is it Circe and Odysseus? Hang on, I've got to look it up right now because I need to know. Yeah. Oh, see, yeah, Circe offers Ulysses. So Ulysses is, Odysseus is Ulysses. It's the same, but I'm just confused as to why it's Ulysses in this. And then there's names that are, you know, the Greek names everywhere else. So I just don't know why. But what was I telling you? Oh, Eros and Psyche. You guys, I have a problem. Oh, I didn't tell you. So I will interrupt myself because I showed you all the books already and forgot to tell you that I'm still reading the Dark Olympus series. And I'm currently listening to, yeah, because I got it on audiobook this time, Wicked Beauty. I'll put up the cover. I'm listening to Wicked Beauty. It's the third book in the series of the Dark Olympus series. And this one, I didn't think I would get into it, but now I'm like over halfway through it. And I have gotten into it. It will, cause it's, I'm too excited. It's Achilles and Patroclus and Helen, like Helen of Troy in a throuple. It's like a, you know, it's a 3-way relationship, and it's very, very steamy. I'm still a much bigger fan of the second book, you know, Electric Idol, which is Eros and Psyche. In any case, that's the smut books. That's the smut book portion. So yeah, well, here's what I'll do, because I have just a couple of oracles that I've been using to work with the Circe Tarot. And I usually do this at the end of the month. Here, let me get my pixie card out of the way. But I'll show you because why not? So, of course, we have, and I just grabbed just a portion of it, the Hellenic Oracle, which I've been using occasionally. So with my daily draws, I've been pulling the one tarot card, and then depending on, sorry for the streak of sunlight, but I kind of like that. Depending on what it is that I pull, sorry, you guys know I always have things that are upside down and roundabouts and all over the which way, which is like an invitation into what my mind is like. Depending on what the card is, then I'm, decide if I want to do oracle with it, or carry on. And because this is such a, easy to read out of the box, even if you're not into Greek mythology or wanting to, learn, read the Odyssey or whatnot and be a big nerd like me, you can take the Circe Tarot and read it easily out of the box if you can read tarot. Look at that. Death and Hades. Ooh, love it. So I've been pulling, these alongside each other. I just did get Kronos. I got Kronos and Tartarus, and it was, for me, and with the star, it was just wild. And it was a reading for me that was just all about the things that I'm swallowing or banishing or keeping, inside and not releasing, right? And that the healing will come when I do. So as I go, I've been deciding whether or not I pull more cards. And I often, with this Hellenic Oracle, like to pull, 2 or 3 cards at a time. I rarely just pull one. Although this has been my loot deck for the fellowship. This is quite a rambly all over the place video. I'm not sure what I'm even going to call it. The Hecaton Kyries. Celine. Yeah, I'm just really in love with all things Greek mythology right now. So another deck that I pulled in to work alongside the Circe Tarot is the Mary Magdalene Oracle. I don't know why. It's just something that I pulled in. It felt right. Maybe for me, there's some tie between Circe herself and the Magdalene. I have no idea. But I just thought, here, I'll do like a proper Don Michelle way to do this. So, and because I kind of done it this way, when I've been working with these decks. So I don't know what it is. Gosh, I love that green. I don't know what it is about like this particular combo, but it felt like the Circe Tarot and the Mary Magdalene Oracle balanced each other and gave it this like next level kind of like connection to spirituality for me. Whereas if I was just using Circe Tarot, I feel like it could be like an everyday kind of a reader. And this made it just kind of like the next level. So what I thought I would do here to just kind of end this video is do my daily draw here with you guys and just pull the one card and read from the guidebook. And then I'll, you know, do my own journaling and stuff. If I feel like I need to, I may, you know, pull in some of the Oracle decks. But honestly, what's been happening is I'll pull the card and then I don't grab for the Oracle like right then and there at the beginning of the day. What'll end up happening is throughout the day or at the end of the day or at some point after I've been in my day, I'll reach back and, you know, to my one card, and then I'll pull some Oracle, and then I'll pull some Oracle around it to see. Rarely have I done the Oracle reading like right alongside the tarot first thing in the morning, because that's when I do these. All right, so let's get our card for today. We have Temperance. Ooh, okay. So let's read in the guidebook, because what I've been doing in my digital journal is I've been retyping the card into the section in the digital journal. Okay, Temperance. So Iris, okay, Iris. The rainbow, yeah, goddess of messenger goddess, goddess of the rainbow, daughter of the Titan, Thaumas and Electra. She is the sister of the three fearsome harpies, personification of storms. Monstrous woman-faced beings with a bird body, they abduct humans and take them to inauspicious shores. Electra is their opposite. Zeus endowed her with radiant beauty and golden wings, with which she soars swiftly through the air. Her task is to carry the gods' messages to every place, to the recipients of Zeus's will. Okay, so Electra, so like, is that a typo? Like, did they mean to say Iris is their opposite? Electra is her mother. She's the daughter of the Titan. See, I feel like this meant to say Iris, not Electra. Anyway, because I think we're talking about Iris now. Zeus endowed her with radiant beauty and golden wings with which she soars swiftly through the air. Her task is to carry the gods' messages to every place, to the recipients of Zeus's will, whether humans or gods, forest creatures or inhabitants of distant rivers. She embodies temperance and alchemy, gifts bestowed upon her by the heavenly Father of all gods. She is of rare beauty, and equally radiant is the dress she wears, iridescent with drops of water that shimmer as she moves along. The spectrum of colors makes her ethereal, and her appearance is announced by a beam of light. Okay, I can see that, like the alchemy, right? Of the rainbow. Is that what we're trying to say here? And those are irises. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this in terms of Iris as the Temperance card, and I probably will at some point later today pull some Oracle in. But all right, so that's my daily draw. All right, you guys, so that's it. That's the vibe for February. Those are the books and the current decks that I'm really, really into right now. Just thought I would, take you, along with me and share with you what I've been getting into, especially in terms of my studies with Greek mythology. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.